Hey dude, this is Jaden Storm coming at you, Team Shadow Strike, and this is going to be, I have a couple of discussion videos I'm going to do with you guys, because I've had a couple of topics that I wanted to talk about. So this one, it's regarding the Dragon Ball Z movie that just came out, because quite a fair amount of you have been asking me, along with other people, have I seen the new Dragon Ball Z movie? Now, I don't mind everyone asking me this question, so please don't take this as that I was annoyed because y'all were asking the question. I just figured since enough people were asking about it, I could make a video about it just so my thoughts were out there. Okay, first off, I think it was a week ago, maybe a little more. It was showing in a theater about 45 minutes away from the city where I live, and I know the person who runs that theater. It's in a mall, and I got a call and was told that if I wanted to come see the movie, I could come down with uh, a group of people I know, and I could see it for free. Now, I thought about it, guys, because I grew up loving Dragon Ball Z. Now, I think it debuted in Japan in '89, if I'm remembering correctly, because I looked that up to try and get my dates right, and I'm pretty sure it was '89. But it came to the States in '96, I believe. Now, I was 5 years old, maybe 6, and Dragon Ball Z, guys, when it came out, it was, parts of looking back on it, it's kind of shocking that, especially for that day and age, it was allowed to be on TV. Especially for kids. Now, the reason I say this is if you look at Dragon Ball Z with an open mind, it's a pretty violent anime. Now, there's people getting blown up, there's people getting limbs severed off their body, people getting blasted, literally something straight through them. Now, I know it's not a lot of blood and gore, but back then, cartoons were a lot less, I guess, picky they were extremely picky back then. Compared to everything else that was out and popular at the time, it was like on a whole different spectrum, and it was like, it was just something that couldn't even come close to anything else that was out there. And I love Dragon Ball Z. I'm pretty sure everybody, when watching the show, at least one time in their childhood tried to go Super Saiyan. I love Dragon Ball Z, and I grew up a huge fan of it. I love the original, with, the whole Vegeta saga with Nappa. I love the Frieza saga. I love the Cell games. That was the golden age of Dragon Ball Z, and the Majin Buu. I even love the Buu series. But right about there, I started to lose interest. Now, GT was okay at times, but there's the main topic of this that I wanted to talk about is there comes a point in time, no matter how good a series is, no matter how popular it is, no matter how much it makes, no matter how much marketing you make off of it with toys and costumes and video games and DVD sales and clothing and whatever else, there comes a time where it just has to stop. And I started thinking, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to go see it. Because I've heard, and from what I've heard, it's about 60-40, and the 60 saying I made the right call. Now, there comes a point where every show just has to stop, and there are lots of examples out there. I'm pretty sure you can find them. The first thing that pops in my head comes from one of my favorite cartoons as a kid that I would watch every day when I got home from school, and every day, every Saturday morning, and that is Pokemon. Pokemon came on the WB for the first time, and it went absolutely insane. And it did so well, and the reason American televisors would put it on here on American television was because it did so good in Japan. like Dragon Ball Z. That's probably why the American televisors was able to look the other way when it came to maybe some of the more mature graphic things that happened on Dragon Ball Z, because it was so popular. Because they knew once they put it on air, there was a strong possibility, with all the noise it was making in Japan and the popularity it made there, that it would be successful here, and they were right. Well, because then all you technically have to do is you take the episodes that were made in Japan, that are already drawn, that are already made up, that all you have to do is hire someone to do the dub. You just have to hire English voice actors to do the voices, and that's easy. Same thing with Pokemon. All they had to do was go out and hire an Ash. They had to hire a Brock. They had to hire a Misty. They had to hire someone to do all the Pokemon voices. And it was the same for Dragon Ball Z. You got to get a Goku. You got to get a Vegeta. You got to get a Piccolo. And, you had to do all that. And that's fine, But, I mean, Super Saiyan God. It's clear to me they're running out of ideas. I didn't go see it because I'm tired of seeing them being stubborn to where it just has to stop. Same thing with Pokemon. Pokemon, I understand when a new game comes out, that gives them a license to basically make another series of the show. But the show has gotten progressively worse, and it's kind of the same way as Dragon Ball Z. It started out groundbreaking, like extremely popular. I mean, look back in the early 90s, the two most popular shows at that time was Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, and Digimon was up there too. They were extremely popular because they were highly marketable. You could make card games, which only one of those card games really exist anymore, and that's Pokemon. You could make video games. I mean, do we need to sit here and talk about how insane popularity is for the Pokemon game? They have regionals and world championships for the game. I mean, look at Dragon Ball Z. You have people who are inspired to become artists through the art of that show. You have some of the best animated shows, and sequences in the history of anime. I mean, and Digimon, they weren't as popular as both those shows, but they did just as well. I mean, they were like the second tier. I mean, those three alone back in the not early 90s, but like the mid to late 90s, they were the most popular shows out there. And I have no problem with like Netflix putting those like on so today's generation can see them. But the problem is they were like, well, with Dragon Ball Z, they came out with Dragon Ball Z Kai. And pretty much what that was is they took the original series and they put a new spin on it. And I did not like that. I don't. I am old school. I like the original. I have the original Dragon Ball Z through pretty much the start all the way to the Boo series, and that's it. That is my length of Dragon Ball Z there, and that right there is the best. That was the best run. And honestly, right there, if you wanted to make GT, fine, but they should have stopped, because the Boo series, it wasn't the most popular. I think for fans, the most popular is probably the Cell games, even though I really like the Boo series, but the Cell games by far is the most popular, and I can agree. After the Boo series, it was still highly popular, it was still high in demand, so they thought, okay, we'll take it to the next step, we'll try GT. Well, GT was only about 50% of the fans approved it, and was able to say, okay, this ain't the same, but it's passable. Right there, they should have stopped. But, they just kept trying to keep going. And eventually, guys, I don't care how good of writers you have, I don't care how good of creators you have, everybody runs out of ideas. And it's clear to me that Dragon Ball Z has run out of ideas when the next stage Goku can go to is Super Saiyan God. I watch a show on YouTube from created by Screw Attack, and it's called Evil Craig Hates. And he did this thing called Evil Craig Hates Dragon Ball Z, and he gives you like these 17 or 18 reasons why he hates Dragon Ball Z. While it's supposed to be in good fun, one of the things he says is Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan God. Who the fuck cares anymore? I'm kind of to that point, you know, it's just like I don't care anymore. I like to remember Dragon Ball Z as the show I grew up with in the golden age of cartoons, which in my opinion is honestly the mid to late 90s. That was the best time in my opinion, but that's also because that was my generation. You know, I was born in 91, so the main cartoons I watched while growing up was, you know, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Digimon, Power Rangers, Dexter's Laboratory. Those were like, that's probably my top 5 from my, I guess my 8, 9, 10, those years. Those were my favorites. But I just don't, I chose not to go see the movie. Just because, for the simple fact being, I kind of wish it'd stop. I've talked to a lot of other fans about this. The general consensus was most of them agreed with me that it's best that they probably just end it. And if you want to further publicize the original series, I'm all for that. Some people have also told me they feel the same way about Naruto. Now, I'm not a Naruto fan. Christian, my teammate, is a huge Naruto fan. I tried watching it. I didn't get into it. But, you know, to each their own. But there's a point in time where every series needs to end. You know, I think a prime example of that, you know, is Dragon Ball Z. There's a sell-by date. And, you know, Dragon Ball Z, as much as it pains me that I'm having to say this, it's time to stop. It's just time to quit. I'm not saying that you can't keep doing things like making video games or doing special things at like anime conventions and things like that, but as far as the show goes, just stop. It just needs to stop. So in the comment section below, guys, please tell me, what are your feelings? Can you think of a show that has been running for a long time that just needs to quit? I mean, a couple that come to my mind: Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, the anime One Piece. These, you know, I guess Naruto from what people have been telling me, but it just needs to stop, you know, and I say that with respect to all the shows. But there comes a point in time when you just need to quit. So anyway, guys, please in the comment section below, tell me what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're thinking. Tell me, do you agree that Dragon Ball Z or there's another show out there that just needs to stop? It's just not good anymore. It's just becoming dry or stale. So share with me your thoughts. Make sure you leave them all down in the comment section below for us to talk about, comment on, and debate about. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. So make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up this video, and I'll see you next time.